Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Cream City crossover back at it again. It's Guru Truck Crosby third.
Chris King.
Justin.
Sunday night, the Milwaukee Bucks fell to the Boston Celtics 113-107, but the drama did not end at the final whistle. There was more talk after, and we got to get into it and have those discussions. Jayson Tatum fell to the floor in pain after landing on Giannis Antetokounmpo's foot during the third quarter of that game. He elevated for a corner three-pointer and landed on Giannis's feet, appearing to roll his ankle. He did finish out the game, but was visibly upset as cameras showed him talking to an official shortly afterwards. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla wasn't too happy about it either. He stated, "You can't miss that. It's ridiculous." Shrugging his shoulders. Tatum then ran to social media to cry about it as well. He went on social media on Twitter and said, SMFH, some calls you're just not supposed to miss. Had some comments about that after the game as well. Let's stay there because Giannis got into it with Jaylen Brown too. But I want to stick to the Jayson Tatum thing first before we get into anything else. So Jayson Tatum, he lands on Giannis' ankle. Here's the thing. Here's where I go with this. It's a normal play. And Boston fans all upset. It's just a normal basketball play. This reminds me of targeting in football, hits to the head, all of this stuff that we kind of get in. And if you want to listen, I totally would have understood if the referees had called anything for it. Now, again, I don't think you have to, but I totally get it because that's just the way the game is played now. Just like Giannis's elbow to Jaylen Brown's head. I believe that one got called. I can't recall, but it might have been a common foul or not. But my point is, that's just how these things are officiated. But you can't call Giannis a dirty player, not when Jayson Tatum, not only did he not miss any time at all, he's crying after the game, like, oh, I could have missed 6 months. Well, you didn't. You missed 6 seconds. You didn't even miss 6 seconds. You went to the game, you kept playing. But number two, he jumps forward. He starts behind the three-point line, jumps in front of the three-point line, and that's just how this thing ends. And again, that's part of the game. Just like hits to the head, those things happen. It's football. It's basketball. If you jump forward on a jump shot into I get it, you want to have your landing space, but if you don't jump straight up and down and a player comes to contest, it's a normal contest. That's part of the game. You might roll up under somebody's foot. It just is what it is. And then last thing I'll say before I let you go, Chris King, when I'm looking at this rule was invoked because of Zaza Pachulia. We remember that incident with Zaza and Kawhi Leonard and what that did to Kawhi. Go look at that play. Zaza Pachulia lands, and when he's landing and doing his contest, everything happens outside of the three-point line. It made sense. It was an egregious closeout. What you saw with Giannis was a normal closeout. Jayson Tatum just happened to get on top of his foot. It is what it is. Regular basketball play. Move on. All this crying from Boston, again, reminds me of Jayson Tatum in the Olympics and his mama crying. I don't want to hear all that, man. I don't want to hear all that. You won the game. You're a very good basketball team. You're just coming off a championship. You ain't got to do the crying with it, man. I don't want to hear that. That's what I got on. What'd you see?
Yeah, listen, I think watching the game, this was something I didn't even notice. Like going into Twitter the next day and finally seeing this play slowed down, I laugh at it because it seems like people around the NBA, not just Celtics fans, but pretty much everybody who doesn't like Giannis just because he's so good, they're looking for something. They're just looking. They're fishing. They're fishing for something with Giannis because he is a likable dude. Because he is a great person on and off the floor, and he takes care of his family and his community. And look, they try to paint this narrative so much that he's this dirty player because it's broadcasted when Kyrie went down in the 2021 run. And then now you just a random closeout. Look, there's 82 games in a season. This happens years later. And all of a sudden, he finds himself under Jayson Tatum's feet. And Jayson Tatum, I think, to me, kicked out. And it just is what it is. He's not a dirty player at all. I just think people are fishing for something to find bad on Giannis. And I don't think he's a dirty player at all.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Chris. Like when you are the guy who stays late to sign autographs, when you're the dude who gives out your shoes to kids in the first row, when you see someone with a 34 jersey on and you get off that bus and you walk up to give that kid a high five or a hug, or even talk to these old jokers like me, and everywhere you go, you're giving dad jokes that we feel like are corny and all that stuff, and you're the face of the franchise. You're not forcing your way out. You're not requesting trades. So this is more just crap that's driven by the media and by Boston fans, shocker, to make this dude seem dirty. He's not dirty. Like you said, he didn't do the stuff to Kyrie on purpose. And you know what? If Giannis ever went to the hole and he landed on someone's foot and he twists his ankle for it, trying to dunk on it, that's one of the risks you take with jumping forward. So I couldn't be mad at them. We saw even before the Zaza Pachulia thing. I don't know if you remember this one, Guru and my man Chris King, but Andrew Bogut dunked on Amari Stoudemire and kind of got his elbow torn up in the thing. And, he was out for the year off of that when we were with Young Money, Young Bucks with Brandon Jennings and stuff like that. Was that dirty? No, it's something that goes on with going to the basket. But, I mean, it's no shocker that the Boston Celtics fans are crying and the Boston Celtics are crying because this is what they do. They can win a championship. It's a damn shame what they do in Boston. You aren't basketball players. You're actors. You flop all around. And Jayson Tatum was probably trying to jump into his foot to get the foul call. Get at me in my mentions. I don't care, Boston fans. You're actors. It's a damn shame. You've turned Drew Holiday from a basketball player to a dude who falls because the guy selling the beer in Section 320 looks at him. It's ridiculous. Stop crying. Take your win and be happy with it.
I'm with you all the way, man. And again, like you said, Christine, he's not a dirty player at all. And again, I agree with you too, Justin. That's what Boston does. They're just never happy. You can never be. It's never enough. And you know what? You know what it all boils down to? They really wish they were the Los Angeles Lakers. That's what it boils down to. They're the little brothers to the LA Lakers, and now you have to continue. You have to drum this up because you're playing the little brother role. But that's not all. If you kept watching this game, you kept seeing what's going on in the post game. Giannis was also involved in another physical play, a couple physical plays with Jaylen Brown. So Giannis tangled it up with both of the Celtic stars on Sunday night. A physical play with Jaylen Brown early in the second quarter where Giannis elbows him in the face on a drive to the basket. He was whistled for an offensive foul. Brown was returning to action after missing 4 games with a hip injury. He stayed in the game. Giannis pretended to put his hand out for a handshake and pulled it back over his head before Brown could reach him, cracking a smile in the process. That prompted Jaylen Brown to call Giannis a child, which is interesting that he did that. And of course, I'm reading this from Boston media, and of course, they did not mention the fact that the most egregious of all plays throughout the game was Jaylen Brown getting a flagrant for putting a forearm into Giannis's neck, shoulder, chest area as an airborne player driving to the basket. You talk about breaking the code. That's breaking the code, Jaylen Brown. But I'll go back and we'll go to break this thing down as it happened. So does Giannis go and turn his way into Jaylen Brown? Absolutely. Justin, you told me before we got on this that Jaylen Brown is 6'6". Anybody care to tell me how tall Giannis is? Anybody know? He's about 7 foot, right? Give or take.
Yeah, he's 7 foot.
He's 7 foot. He might be listed 6'10", 6'11", but he's 7 feet tall. Yes, if Giannis is making a move and you're playing back to the basket and Giannis is making a move and he turns, that get high elbows, all that. Back up. Don't hey, what did I say? Don't get your face beat. Don't get your face beat up. That's what you're doing, man. Like watch my hands beat up your face. All that kind of stuff. Your face beat up my hands. I said that wrong. But my point is, Giannis is turning. My man's is 6'6". If you're 6'6", a 7 footer might get you high. I mean, that's again another one that's basketball. If that's Al Horford behind him, that elbow's going to his shoulder. It is what it is. I'm sorry you got hit, Jaylen Brown, but man up, keep playing. You got the foul. You put your face in there. You got the foul. Move on. But the play and then you go to the high five, and Jaylen Brown does call Giannis childish. I'll even give Jaylen Brown some agreements there where Giannis does play. I mean, he is a childlike type of a player. Like, he wears emotional. He's a fun guy. So yeah, and Giannis, I think, admitted it post game as well, right? Like, yeah, I want to stay. Yeah, I stay youthful. He's a very youthful character. I think some of it again is, where he's from. He's not American, so you don't understand. So maybe he doesn't always understand some of those social norms that, I can't hit somebody in the face and then do it and then play a joke with you. Not always going to work the same when you're trying to translate those cultures and everything. But again, that's Giannis being Giannis. It is what he is. He's a Greek freak, and hey, I accept it. But again, the most dangerous play of all was later in that game. I think it was in the fourth quarter where Jaylen Brown puts a forearm into Giannis's neck. An airborne player, that should be fine. That was way worse than landing on your ankle, and way worse than getting hit with a high elbow to the as somebody's backing you down. Terrible job, Jaylen Brown. It's a terrible response. I hope he gets fined. I don't know what all. And I don't think he should be suspended. But again, I thought that was the most egregious play of all. And this again goes back to the Boston Celtics crying and crying and crying. Little brother syndrome. They wish they were the Lakers.
Well, yeah, and then you look at it, and the Bucks actually let the Celtics take more technical free throws off of delay of games than they would have gotten from any of this stuff. They didn't shoot free throws from the Giannis closeout. They didn't shoot free throws from the Giannis elbow. But Bobby Portis is running his mouth. We didn't even talk about this on the show, but this is just what happened. Look, the Celtics got gifted 2 delay of game calls that really nobody really calls in the NBA right nowadays. Yeah, I mean, man, I watched it too, and I didn't think it was dirty. I just was like, okay, that was aggressive, but hey, we're letting these boys play. Giannis was at their necks all game, really all first half too. Like it was a different spark in him, like I said on the post game show, and yeah, the guys playing.
Yeah, man. Here we go. I mean, it's like they must be sponsored by Kleenex in Boston the way these bums cry all the time, man. I've never seen it. Good for Giannis having the fun playing a game that he's getting paid millions of dollars for. Good for him doing that. I don't, and you know, the other thing is stop trying to take a charge. Jump up and block his shot. Derek White will do it. Giannis does it. He gets dunked on all the time. If you jump up and make a basketball play versus standing there and trying to be as stiff as a board and not play defense and get a flop call to you, you wouldn't have that problem. Hey, if you get elbowed in the face, you know what you should do? You should wear a mouth guard. That's what my dad told me. He bought me a mouth guard. We don't pay for braces. Well, Jaylen Brown didn't pay for them braces. Never mind. We're going to stop. All right, yeah. That's whack.
100%, man. Well, you know, that's what the Bucks dealing with now. You lose the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics win the game, win championship. They're still crying. That's what they do. You have to just accept it. Their entire fan base, a bunch of losers, a bunch of weirdos out there in Boston. So I don't care. I said it. That's what they do. That's what it is. And the Bucks is going to keep on rolling. Yeah, I saw my mentions all day. 2-8, 2-8, 2-8. It's 10 games in, man. We're going to be all right. Bucks will continue to roll, and you all will continue to roll and tell a friend to keep it locked right here at the Cream City Crossover for all your information. It's been the Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Trick Osby III.
Chris King.
Justin.
And don't take no wood nickels. Courage.